Okay, this is the second time I've made this video because QuickCam fucked up. Um, okay, 40 years ago we decided to go to the moon. Um, Great big rocket ship, spent billions of dollars, went up to the moon. Let's see, we left a plaque, couple of flags, drove around in a couple of buggies, hopped around like Superman, and collected some rocks. Oh boy, what a waste of money. Anyway, now we're going back. Totally fucking cool. Maybe we'll do it right this time. We need to set up a base on the moon. That's what they want to do anyway. So, what kind of a base should you put on the moon? Should you build a structure open to the vacuum of space? Because, like, yeah, the moon has no atmosphere. So, it can be, like, thrashed upon by micrometeorites and meteorites and other things that could, like, destroy the fuck out of it real quick. Or do you dig underground into a cavity and build a cavity underground where you can set up your base and put an airlock at the opening, and you're pretty much protected from that. Plus, you're also protected from cosmic rays and other things um, that you may not be protected against in a open to the vacuum base. Either way you look at it, you're looking at sending up a whole lot of equipment, either to dig or to, well, you're looking at a whole lot of stuff, either to dig and to build the infrastructure or just to build the infrastructure. My personal thoughts on the matter are I would go for the underground um, underground bases built, so that you've got enough rock above you to like protect you against anything bigger than anything smaller than like something the size of a VW bug or something coming in at 4 Mach or whatever. Anyway, um, but getting all that shit there is going to be really, really expensive if they want to build a base because they're going to have to figure out how are they going to do it. I don't think it's economically sound to try and do it the way we sent the astronauts there in the first place. Just shoot a rocket and send it straight to the moon. Um, with the amount of equipment needed, I believe that there needs to be base space-based launches. You launch missiles up to or you launch rockets with the equipment up to a waiting station in Earth orbit, or possibly in orbit halfway between the Earth and the Moon, and from there loaded onto a larger space-built rocket ship, powerful enough to take the ship where it needs to go and just blast off from orbit. I believe that would save a great deal of money, and you could send a whole lot more than it would cost to launch it from a giant rocket ship on Earth. You know, um, it'll save money in the long run. I don't think we're ready to go to Mars yet, although I would love to see that in my lifetime. I doubt I'm going to see it. Um, Possibly, maybe, I don't know. But I do believe that I will live long enough to see people living on the moon. I do believe I'm going to live long enough um, to see space uh, made available for the general public tourist, you know. And I do believe that sometime within my lifetime, somebody's finally going to come forward and say what it's like to fuck in outer space. I'm sure it's already been done, but nobody's saying anything about it. But the mere physics of sex in space, that's not my phone. I refuse to answer it. The mere thought of the physics and Newton's laws coming into effect has to be sex in zero G. Because, like, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So when you thrust forward, you're going backwards. So, Yeah, I think you'll end up having to build a special double body suit for people who want to fuck in space, you know, or buy a sleeping bag, a large one, for the both of you. Maybe that'll work. I don't really care. Sure would be fun to find out though. But anyway, back to moon base. Yeah, that'd be totally cool if we had a base on the moon. Then we'd have to go to the dark side of the moon and build a satellite so we can monitor radio transmissions. Perfect place to do it. Everybody knows that if you're into SETI and all that shit. Um, that's what I think. I think going back to the moon, Project Orion, is totally fucking cool. I think we need to actually go the distance and build the base. Um, and then we can start working on new forms of propulsion. The forms of propulsion we're working on now assume that we'll be taking off from Earth. No. I think we need to start working on propulsions that assume we're going to be taking off from orbit in zero G. Um, I'm thinking a catapult launch system, a catapult type launch system that I have seen on TV paired with an ion drive. The catapult will get you really going really fast, and the ion drive is just going to make you keep going faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. So that's how I think it might be possible to do some uh, inter solar system travel between the planets. And I also think there's going to be a much greater um, possibility of meeting up with alien life forms when we start doing that shit. Because if I were an alien life form and I was going around checking out planets and shit like that, I really wouldn't want to talk to a bunch of people that haven't gotten off their own planet yet, you know? I mean, would you? And it's like you're stuck on your planet. What the fuck do you have that we need? You know, what the you don't have any information we could gain. You're stuck on your own damn planet and we're out here cruising the galaxy. You know, you're a peon. We ignore you. But when they start populating other planets in their solar system, these other creatures or whatever they are going to sit there and think, hey man, they might be coming towards us someday. They might be a threat. Or they might not be a threat, but either way, let's go check them out, see how what they're all about. You know, I think there'll be a much greater chance of us getting uh, uh, um, um, contact with other uh, life forms once we start populating other planets. Anyway, um, and another thing, question the religious fundamentalist fucktard nutcases. Um, let's say we do populate the moon and we do populate Mars, and there are people living there when your so-called Armageddon fucking um, tribulation bullshit happens, right? Um, is final judgment Earth specific? I mean, what happens to the people living on the moon and Mars? I don't read anything in the Bible talking about going to the moon or going to other planets to pass judgment. Just Earth. That's it. Just Earth. So, like, if you're living on the moon and you're living on Mars, you kind of escape final judgment because, like, God didn't say shit about them. Something to think about, fundy guys. Really hard. You know, I'd really like some fundamentalist Christian nutcase motherfucker that sees this to give me an answer. If you're living on the moon and Mars come final judgment, do you escape it? Because there's nothing in the Bible saying passing judgment on people living on the moon and Mars. Think about that. I really would like an answer. Thank you. Have a nice day. And if you don't like this video, fuck you, go to hell.